Hi, boys and girls. This is Mr. Anderson. Hope everybody's doing well. Today we are going to read The Fox and the Grapes one last time. If you've not already read it today, then I want you to go ahead and pause this video right here and go ahead and read that. I want you to do your very best to read that story all on your own. If there are still some words you're not sure about, you can try to sound those out using your strategies, or you can ask somebody in the house to help you read it. Go ahead and pause this video and then hit play when you're finished reading. Today we're going to answer two questions about our story. The author wrote that the moral of the story is, it's easy to say that you don't want something that you cannot get. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to answer this question. What do you think that means? We're going to go ahead and take out a blank piece of paper, put your name and date at the top like we always do before we write on some paper and turn in our work. And I want you to pause the video if you don't have a piece of paper out and go ahead and get your name and date at the top. If you've already got some paper and you're ready to go, I'd like for you to put number 1 on the very first line because this is the first question we're going to respond to. The moral of the story says it's easy to say that you don't want something that you cannot get. I want you to think about what that might mean. Think about what the character is, the main character, the fox, what he wanted to get, and if he was able to get it or not, and how he felt about that. When you're finished writing on this question, then we'll move on to the next one. If you need some time to write, you can pause the video here and then write your response. When you're ready for the second question, I want you to skip a few lines and write number 2. This is the second question. Which part of the story supports your thinking? When we see that word supports, that means we're going to have to look back in the story. We're going to have to find a sentence or a few sentences that show us where we got our answer. So if you have a thought about the first question, what do you think that means? And you were able to say, well, I read back in the story and I found a sentence that helped me write down my idea. I want you to underline that sentence with your pencil, and then I want you to write down which one of those sentences helped you support your thinking. If you need some time to write that down, you can pause the video here. And when you hit play, we're going to talk about our other story. So we have one more story that you should have been reading, the story called Babies. If you haven't read it yet today, I want you to go ahead and pause the video now. You can read this. I want you to try your very best to read it all on your own. If you can't read it on your own or you need a little bit of help with some of those words, just ask somebody in your house to help you read it. Pause the video here and then hit play when you're done reading. Today we have two questions about our story. The first question is, how are the animals the same? And the second question is, how are the animals different? One of the ways that we can organize our thoughts is to put it into a graphic organizer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw something that looks very similar to my place value chart. It has 3 sections just like my place value chart does, but I'm going to use those sections a little bit differently. Kind of like our Venn diagram, in the middle, I'm going to say these are the things that my baby animals have in common. These are the same. Then I'm going to pick 2 baby animals. You can choose a cat, a dog, a fish, a bird, a rabbit, any of these baby animals that we read about. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to choose a bird, and I'm going to put him right over here on this side, and then I'm going to choose a fish. Those are 2 of the animals I read about in my story. On the side that says bird and the side that says fish, I'm going to find something that is specific just to those animals. I'm going to say a bird has wings. I know a fish doesn't have wings, so that's not something they're going to share. And I'm going to say a fish has gills, because I know they do not breathe air through lungs like we do, and they have a different way of breathing. So now I have my fish have gills and my bird have wings. Now I'm going to try to find something that these baby animals have in common. If I look back in my story, then the first sentence that has a picture of a baby bird above it, it says, like fish, baby birds come from an egg. So I'm going to write comes from an egg, because this is something that both birds and fish share. So I'm going to continue to do this. I'm going to find something else that a bird has that a fish does not have. I'm going to find something that a fish has that a bird doesn't have. And I'm going to see if there's any more similarities between fish fishes and birds. If I can't find any more similarities, then I can move on to 2 different baby animals. I want you to use a blank piece of paper and come up with as many similarities and as many differences as you can with these baby animals. While you're working on that, you can pause the video and hit play when you're finished. When you're finished making comparisons, I'd like for you to get out your Working with Words mat. We're going to read over all of those words, and then we're going to write a sentence about one of those words. So once you're done reading those words from your Working with Words mat, we're going to choose one of them to write in a sentence. I chose one word to write in a sentence here, and this is my sentence. The mother dog had 8 puppies. I chose the word puppies from my list of words to write a sentence about. You'll notice in my sentence, I added a capital letter at the beginning of the sentence. I added end punctuation at the end, and then I made sure that everything was spelled correctly. One of the things I need to be looking for is that when I make the singular word puppy into a plural word, puppies, if it ends in a Y, I'm going to take that Y away. I'm going to add I-E-S. So don't forget our rule to follow when we're changing something from singular to plural. You can choose any word that you would like, and I want you to make sure you're following the rules of writing a good sentence, and you can write a sentence about that word. That's all from me today. I hope you guys are having a good time, staying safe, and learning a lot. Have a great afternoon.